Okay, get some groovy tunes on, something that makes you feel relaxed and released. And then get your foam rollers. Let's see. Okay, we're going to start standing. Okay, take your feet out wide, just about the width of your roller if you have a wide one. But if you don't, it's like 2.5, 3 feet. Clasp your hands behind you, reach them down to the ground, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Just gently lift your chin toward the sky. Take a big inhale into the front of your throat. And as you exhale, dive forward. Take the hands on top of the roller. You can soften your knees as much as you need to. Drop your head and start to nod your head yes. We're all going to be hanging at a certain height. You're not going to look the same as the person next to you or me. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then start to walk your hands in front of the roller and come into your just comfiest down dog. Okay, maybe the feet still stay really wide. Maybe you'd like to pull them together a little bit, hips width distance apart. Shift your weight to the right, swaying your hips off to the right. And feel how that changes the stretch all the way down the right side of your leg. Shift your hips to the left. Put your weight into the left heel if you can, and feel that stretch shift into the left leg. And go side to side for a moment, just wagging your tail from one side to the other. If you haven't already, step your feet together behind you and then drag your right knee forward. Set it on the roller. Step your left foot way back and try to sink your hips low. This can be a challenge because of the deep knee bend here. If you've got hip flexibility stuff happening, then this can be kind of a tricky thing to do. So you can always drop the back knee to the ground for a bit more support. But if you're okay, sit the hips nice and low and start to walk your hands forward. Drag the roller all the way down your right shin, maybe even all the way across your ankle. And then walk yourself back, dragging the roller back up again. Good. You are rolling just to the right of your tibia bone. It's this meat of the shin. This is your tibialis anterior muscle. The right foot is relaxed and it's sort of turned inward toward the left. And see if you can find a spot somewhere on the front of that shin. Take a breath to arrive there. Exhale, soften the back of your neck. You might start to add some movement here. Maybe you let the roller stay in place while you wag your knee from side to side. Shifting your weight, sort of a clockwise and then counterclockwise semicircle. Maybe you start to flex, point, rotate your right ankle. Good. Take another pass through the whole length of that shin, trying your best to keep your hips really low as you can get them. Good. And then when you are ready, drop the left knee to the ground, walk your hands backward, and set your right knee on the ground next to it. Just take a moment, rotate through the right ankle, rotate through the left ankle. Right ankle feels a bit freer, right? Feel free to pop back into that down dog, or just come from all fours to drag your left knee forward. Set it on the roller. Step your right foot as far back as you can. Good. Let the hips drop low. They're almost trying to connect with your left heel. And then start to walk your hands forward. Drag your body weight forward. Steamroll the roller down through the outer edge of your lower left leg. So not on the bone, this tibia bone, but just to the left of it. Your tibialis anterior muscle. Think about steam rolling through the tissues forward and backward. And then let's pick a spot somewhere in the shin. Maybe it's the spot that feels a little denser. Maybe it feels more sensational. You might start to move there, turning your knee off to one side and then off to the other, inviting the roller to grab your skin and hold it in place as you mobilize on top of that pinning with the roller. Maybe you move through the left ankle, flex, point, rotate. Always a good idea to drop the back knee on the ground if you just need a little more support in this place. Start to think about finishing up, taking another few moments to steamroll through this tibialis anterior muscle. Inviting a nice soft release as you exhale. Good. When you are ready, slide the right knee onto the ground, slide the left knee back to meet it, and then place your forearms on the ground and lie your quadriceps over the roller. Start to walk your elbows forward as you drag the roller down the front of your thighs, all the way to the tips of your kneecaps, and all the way back up to the pubic bone. Take it way slower than you think you'd need to. And if you feel like a ton of sensation, more than you're comfortable relaxing into, that's when you know it's time to switch to a softer roller. If you could use more sensation, that's when you know it's time to switch into a firmer roller. Play with turning your toes out to the sides, gliding up through the inner edges of your quadriceps, and turning the toes in toward each other, gliding through the outer edges of your quads. Maybe you even stop on one spot and bend one knee or both. Lengthen back out again. Nice and slow. Take the roller all the way up to your pubic bone. Bring your right hand on the ground and then drop your left knee onto the ground. Rotate yourself onto your left side. Slide the left arm long and lie down on top of it. If you need a pillow or something to rest in between your shoulder and your head, this is a great time for that. Otherwise, let the left arm be your pillow. And then just start to rock your pelvis forward a little bit and backward a little bit. You want the roller to be in the crease of your hip. So if it's up in your waistline, it's way too high. And if it's down on your left thigh, it's uncomfortably low, right? It's right in that pocket. As the left knee drops kind of open to the side, you can feel the roller resting there. And then let's turn this into a stretch for the right side body. Reach through the right leg and just let it descend down into gravity and relax. Maybe you sweep the right leg backward a little more. Breathe in, breathe out. Let it relax. Maybe you draw the leg forward a bit and feel how that changes the stretch in the right side body, depending on if you're sweeping your leg backward, forward, or it's staying right in line with your left foot. Some of you might be already craving taking the right arm up overhead and bringing yourself into a big, long kitty cat stretch. Inhale, reach out through your edges. Exhale, soften yourself down. Take another moment. Stretching deep into your lateral line of fascia. When you're ready, if you're ready, bend your top knee. Gently come up onto your left elbow. And then turn yourself open to the sky. Step both feet into the ground. Good. If you're on a short roller, you'll have to kind of adjust it underneath you to make sure it stays there. Just take your right hand on top of the roller as you start to glide up and down the outside of your left hip. It's a pretty small surface area, kind of gliding between the hip crest bone and just down through the outer edge of the hip to that greater trochanter. You might even pass over it. It's a really bony landmark in this lower diagonal edge of the glute. If your head needs a little bit of support, use your right hand as a pillow or as a crane. Just take another moment here in this outer glute roll. Maybe take a breath and exhale to just soften into the pressure, absorbing it. Use your hands and your feet to help you press all the way up onto a left hand, straight left arm, and then just take a seat on the roller. Grab onto your left knee with your right hand. Your feet are anchored on the ground as you glide straight forward and straight backward. Play with the angles of your rolling. Squeeze your knees toward each other. Bring them together. And feel how that accesses the inner edge of the left glute. Open your knees away from each other and feel how that brings you into the big maximus meat of your left glute. Take another slow pass. And then keep yourself at this sort of sideways left angle as you glide your hips all the way forward and let the left hip come to the ground. Come onto your left elbow. Nestle the ruler way down into the low back, so far down that you're tempted to lift your hips off the ground, but you don't. Start to rock yourself toward the left side, dropping the left knee to the ground, and then back towards center, stopping just short of your spine. And again, onto your side, back towards center. If you want more sensation while you're doing this, slide the left leg straight. You'll open out the waistline and open out the space that you're rolling in, creating more length there. Once again, maybe your head needs a crane, so pick it up with your right hand. Maybe it needs a pillow. Find your favorite spot in this left side low back. Take a breath into that. And as you exhale, surrender your back to the pressure. And stay on this left side and glide your way downward, gliding the ruler up the left side of your rib cage. Come all the way to your side, press yourself to sitting, and turn to face your roller again. On your elbows, lay your thighs against the roller and start dragging it down towards your knees, back up towards your pelvis. And turn the toes toward each other and away. Maybe you even turn your toes off to one side and off to the other, and you'll feel that weight shift makes a huge difference in how the roller's accessing your thighs. Take another moment, and if I'm rushing you, then just take it slower. Meet back up when you're ready. The next time the roller travels up to your pelvis, come onto your come onto your left hand. Rotate yourself open onto your right side and then bend your right knee and set it on the ground. And hopefully bending the right knee, setting it on the ground will shift you downward so that the roller is just resting right in the side crease of your hip. Slide your right arm long, rest it on the ground. And then here you are with the roller supporting the right hip and the left lateral line opening out. And start to rotate your pelvis toward the ground or up to the sky. And then when you've found the perfect angle for yourself, take a big breath, reach out through the left foot. And exhale, soften the left leg down into gravity. Play with gliding the left leg backward, softening it down there. Gliding the left leg forward, letting gravity drop it down there. Find the angle that feels both challenging but important. And let's take a couple more breaths in that place. Inflate your belly. Exhale to soften. When you feel ready, bend your left knee. Gently press yourself up onto your right elbow. Turn your chest toward the sky and step both feet into the ground. Make sure your feet are not slippy. They're anchored. Grab onto the roller next to you with your left hand and start to glide the roller up and down the side of your right hip. And then give your neck some support as it needs it. Maybe your left hand becomes a pillow or wraps around and picks up your head on your temples. And if you find a spot that feels more sensational than the rest, stay there for a moment. Go toward it. In this practice, we're all about going toward our sensations instead of running away. It's then that we can understand them so that they can heal. At the end of your next exhale, use all these anchors, your hands and your feet, to press yourself up onto a straight right arm, and then just take a square seat on your roller. Grab your right knee with your left hand and start to glide all the way up and all the way back down the meat of your glute. Play with squeezing your knees toward each other or opening them away. Take one or two more passes and feel free to stop on a spot and just breathe. Glide yourself forward until the right hip just reaches the ground. Come onto your right elbow and start to rock yourself onto your right side into the right waistline and back open into the right side low back. Give your head the support it needs. As you're rocking slowly from side to side, you're nestling the roller deeper and deeper into the right side low back. Maybe you choose to straighten the right leg. Create a little more space, a little more length. Find a spot in your low back that just needs another moment of time. When you get there, let's find some stillness. Take a breath, inflate your back into the pressure. And exhale, let the pressure absorb into your back. Glide your body downward, taking the roller into your upper ribs, and then rotate onto your back, onto your rib cage. Clasp your hands together and make a hammock so that you can hold your head. With the roller behind your upper back, drape your spine gently over the roller. It doesn't have to be aggressive or all the way. It's just enough to let the roller press into your spine with gravity. Take a breath. Just release. Absorb the shape of the roller. And then lift your hips and start to glide the roller all the way up into the back of your neck, all the way down to the middle of your ribs. As you're gliding through your upper back here, you're gliding in between the shoulder blades and the spine. And maybe it feels really good to keep your elbows wide for that. Maybe it feels really good to point the elbows toward the sky to create some space and separation between your shoulder blades and your spine. The next time the roller comes to the lower part of the ribs, set your hips down, roll onto your right side, and bring your right elbow into the ground. Make a fist with your right hand so you can support your head. The roller is going to come down to the lowest rib, like it's resting on maybe the 11th and 12th ribs. And take a breath to arrive here. Make sure you feel supported by your elbow and the roller. And start to rock your rib cage down into the roller and back onto your side. Step your top foot behind you as you rock open, wrapping the roller around the lower ribs and back onto your side. And then repeat it and go slow. Rock forward. Let the roller wrap around that low wing tip of your rib cage below your breast tissue. So if you have any of that, you're moving yourself out of the way to access your ribs instead. And then step your top foot behind you to wrap the roller into the back of the ribs. This can feel like a really bony place. If you don't have a soft roller that you want to use at home, but you want a soft roller, you can always throw a hand towel over your roller. One of those plushy ones from the bathroom section of Bed Bath & Beyond. Take a breath on your favorite spot. Expand your ribs out into the pressure. That's you taking control of that sensation. And then exhale. Allow the sensation back in towards you. Good. Find another spot, or maybe it's the same one along this same line. Take a breath, expand your ribs. Exhale, absorb the roller. Slowly rotate yourself back onto your side, back onto your back. Hold the weight of your head with your hands. Lift your hips and glide through your rib cage from top to bottom. Try to notice now, after mobilizing the right side of the rib cage, does the roller feel different against the left side of your back versus the right side of your back? Take the roller to the lowest ribs, set your hips down, and rock onto your left side, just spinning around so that I can keep facing you. The roller comes down low, not in your waistline, but right on the ribs above it. Rest your left elbow on the ground, head in your hand. With your knees stacked here, just start to rock gently forward and side. Step your top foot onto the ground. Rock back and side. You're wrapping the roller from the back of your ribs to the side, to the front, to that, again, that flexible lower left quadrant of your rib cage. This is where your stomach is, so if you just like ate a big meal or something, it might feel like there's a little bit of pressure down here in your stomach. Don't worry, that's normal. Find a spot on the ribs here that feels just more sensational, more important. Let's nestle into that spot. And then with your inhale, you go into that sensation, expand against it. Takes a little courage. And exhale. Release into it. Pick another spot to take a big deal breath into. Maybe it ends up being the same one. Take a big breath. And exhale, absorb, soften, surrender. Stay here for as long as you need. This is an important place to be. But if you're ready and you're with me tonight, roll onto your backside, clasp your hands, hold your head, and glide through your rib cage again, all the way into the back of your neck and all the way back down to the middle of your ribs. And maybe the two sides of your back feel a little more even now. Bring the roller behind your shoulder blades, so much higher up than you were before. Set your hips down and rock onto your left side. Keep your hands clasped behind your head and squeeze your elbows right in front of your face. Set your left elbow up on top of the roller and start to glide a little bit down and a little bit up. With that left upper arm bone parallel to the roller and resting on top of it. As you glide down and up, you're gliding across the back of your shoulder. That posterior deltoid, big part of your rotator cuff, big part of your shoulder girdle. Find a spot within the back of your shoulder. You might be rocking forward a little bit, backward a little bit, to find just the right amount of pressure and just the right spot. And then take a big inhale into that spot. Think your chest expands wide. As you exhale, let yourself shrink in on yourself. Rotate yourself open. Go straight to the other side. On your right side, in the right shoulder blade, squeeze your elbows in together and then set this right elbow in on top of the roller. Let the back of your shoulder connect with the roller and just start gliding downward and upward. It's a little bit of a shifting in your waistline. Rolling through this posterior deltoid. Find a spot in the back of the shoulder. It feels important for you to just stay with for a moment. Find more pressure by rotating your chest forward toward the roller, or less pressure by rotating back toward the ceiling. Take a big breath. Expand your ribs wide. Exhale, let yourself shrink. Scrunch. One more time to rotate yourself open to the sky. Step your feet into the ground, lift your hips, and glide once again through your upper back. Glide yourself downward and take the roller behind your neck like a neck pillow. Drape your head up and over the back of the roller so that your chin is pointing toward the sky. And then just start to look from side to side, nestling the roller into the base of your skull. Look over to the right and stay there, and start to make small circles with your right nose. Maybe shake your head while looking off to the right, trying to dig the roller into the base of your right skull. From where you are, flop your arms out and tuck your right shoulder underneath the roller. Bring your left hand around, grab onto the roller, and then lift your hips a whole bunch and drive your body into the roller until the ledge of your shoulder stops you. Your neck is stretched way over the back of the roller. The ledge of your right shoulder is pressing up into the roller. This is your upper trapezius. You might rotate yourself a little bit side to side, but as soon as you've found a place in this upper right trapezius that feels like it's responding to that pressure, you can drop your hips back down and just keep leveraging your pressure into the roller with your feet. Maybe you choose to move the right upper arm bone out to the side, in toward your body, rotating it inward or outward. This is the point in our class where I start to get really yawny because we're starting to drop down into our parasympathetic state. And take a breath here in this upper trapezius. And release. Set your hips on the ground and roll all the way onto your right side. Stack your knees on top of each other. Nestle the roller underneath the side of your neck. And then just ask your head to drip. Drip over the back side of the roller. Allow your neck to just be supported by the shape of the roller. Maybe you start to shimmy your top shoulder forward and backward. Try to resist the urge to turn your head, but rather just find your angles with the rotation of your rib cage. When and if you want to, stretch and hook your chin over the back of the roller so that the roller's connecting to the front of your neck, not your throat, but just to the right of it. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let your lips part. And take a few breaths into this place. Inhale. Exhale, soften the weight of your head. Release any holding. Scoot your roller up to the side of your face. Bring it to the side of your jaw. Start to nod your head against the roller. Make circles with your nose. Maybe you start to open and close your jaw against the pressure of the roller. Maybe you even feel brave and you'll keep your jaw open while nodding your head, making circles with your nose. Any other movements that feel important here? Find a place of stillness. Take a big breath and exhale. Let it go. Move your roller up to the side of your eye, to your temple, and start to nod your head here. Make circles with your nose. Maybe even rotate your head toward the sky. And toward the floor. Find a spot in the side of your head here. Maybe it's the back or the front. It's your favorite place to roll over. Become still on that spot and take one more breath. Scoot the roller underneath your neck again and rotate onto your back. And when you get there, flop your arms open and just look again from side to side. Taking notes on how your right shoulder feels compared to your left. The next time you look to the left, you start to make circles with your nose or nod your head so that the roller starts to dig a little bit deeper into the base of your left side skull. And as you're looking to the left, really stretch your head up and over the back of the roller. Tuck your left shoulder and elbow underneath the roller. Take the right hand and grab onto the roller with it. Lift your hips and drive your left shoulder ledge up into the roller. When you get there, rotate a little, side to side. Relax your head a lot. And then if it feels like you've found yourself a spot to work through a little bit deeper, feel free to drop your hips and keep driving your body weight up into that pressure. This really only works if the roller stays still and if your left shoulder is tucked underneath it. Take a couple moments, just letting that left shoulder blade depress further down your back. And then when you feel ready, if you feel ready, set your hips on the ground if they're lifted. Turn onto your left side and drape the left side of your neck deeply over your roller. And start to rotate your top shoulder a little bit forward and a little bit back. Until you come to your favorite place. And you'll take a breath there. Stretch and hook your chin over the back of the roller, bringing the roller into the front of your left side neck. Let your lips part. Relax your throat. Take another breath. Scoot your roller up to the side of your face, to your jaw, and start to nod your head in efforts to massage the side of your jaw on the roller. Maybe you open and close your jaw. Maybe you keep it open, and while it's open, you nod. Make circles with your nose. Take one breath on the place that you feel is the most important. And release it. Move the roller up to the side of your eye, to your temple, and nod your head again. Make circles with your nose. Maybe even rotate your head toward the sky, wrapping the roller around the back of your skull. Or rotate your head forward toward the roller, bringing it across your eyebrow. Wherever you feel the most importance, the most opportunity for change, let's stop there, stay there. Take a breath. Exhale and soften. And from where you are, rotate yourself onto your belly and prop the roller underneath your forehead. You can stay on your belly like this, or come up to a child's pose or a puppy dog pose. I'm going to pick the child's pose. Start to rock your head from side to side. Nod your head down and up. And then do some kind of combination of each. Drawing big, tall zigzags across your forehead. Let the roller come to settle right in the center of your forehead. Close your eyes and imagine looking out at the spot where the forehead and the roller are connected. I often imagine a color, and tonight it's like a teal green, olivey teal. Weird. Take a big inhale into that spot. And exhale, let yourself become soft. Every week it's a different color when we do this move. I wonder what it all means. One more deep breath here. As you're exhaling, roll yourself off of that roller. Roll your way up to sitting, and I hope that your lights are down low above your head because we're going to just transition onto our backs for this last part of class. Take the roller underneath your calves. Lie on down. And think of your calves like top and bottom, upper half and lower half. Let's come to the lower half of our calves. And start to kind of flick your legs, bend and lengthen. Make it as lazy as you can. And then cross your left ankle on top of your right ankle and start to bend and lengthen your legs. The roller is only traveling through the lower half of the right calf. There's minimal effort here. The left leg probably provides all the pressure that you need. Make sure to relax your right ankle. How about both? Because if your right foot flexes, the calf engages and rejects the pressure. Calm through, turning your toes outward and inward. And then find a really important spot in that lower right calf and give it a little scrubbing movement. Just a kind of a quick bend and push, bend and push. Maybe you even rotate through your ankle to get some movement. Move the roller to the top half of your right calf and do exactly the same thing. Crossing your left ankle on top of your right, bend and lengthen. The top half of your calf feels very different from the bottom. The muscles here are bulbier and there is one on each side of your calf. So as you turn your toes out or in, you'll be on one side or the other. Feel free to find a spot. Give it a little scrub. Maybe flex, point, rotate. Take another moment or two. Your breath is a tool here to accept the sensations coming into your body, to calm your nervous system. As you inhale, your inhale is the preparation to release and surrender and soften on the exhale. Let's move that roller to the left calf and just lay both calves on top of the roller. Give it a couple flicks, bend and lengthen. And end up on the upper left calf. Cross your right ankle on top of your left and start to bend and lengthen. Turn your toes off to one side, off to the other. Find your favorite spot in the upper left calf. Give it a little scrub, maybe a flex, point, rotate through the ankle. When you feel ready, move the roller down to the lower half of your left calf. Do exactly the same movements, bending and lengthening. Now on your Achilles tendon, your soleus muscle, which is largely just in the center instead of the two sides. And turn your toes off to one side and off to the other. And find a spot in this lower left calf. Give it a little bit of a micro scrub, a little bit more concentrated movement just on that spot. Maybe you flex, point, rotate, maybe not. When you're ready, place both calves back on the roller and give them like a wiggle in and out. You're not opening and closing your turnout. You're not like externally, internally rotating. You're just separating the legs and bringing them back together with the toes kind of facing forward the whole time. And then let your knees drape over the roller. Shake out your hips a little. Open and close your jaw a little. Let your arms come into a comfy place, whether they're splayed open across over your body or up overhead, whatever you feel energetically. Let's close our eyes and take a few breaths together here. Inhale, expand your ribs down into the ground. When you exhale, just leave them there. Leave them heavy. And your exhale falls down to meet them. Take another inhale, expand your ribs wide out to the sides. And exhale, let them come back in to your center. Take one more big breath down into your pelvic floor, into your belly, into your lungs. Expand out and up to the sky. And exhale, let yourself soften. And just come to a neutral place. That's where I'm going to leave you today. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope you liked it. I feel like today was my dream class. The class of my dreams.